just a good old boy.
Well, we ended up, we're gonna square bale some more hay. Something that we had cut, dried out, looks better than we thought it was going to, so got a little bit more to do. I've been baling for the past really 2 weeks. Haven't really recorded anything. That's how far I've been behind on videos. That thing must have a hay dog bushing out. I can hear it just popping along. Got the money maker rolling. Let's get a picture of the rake. I don't never show the rake working hardly ever. He'll stare at me and wonder what I'm doing or what I'm supposed to be doing. Doing a good job. Hay like this, it works really good. This is pretty, I mean, it's not thin hay, but I mean, it's not the extreme heavy heavy windrows that we have a lot of trouble with in the spring, which this is the 3rd time this field's been cut. This is the only field I have that's been cut 3 times, and it's right here at the house. It's right in front of my parents' house, so that's why. And it's not that big of a field, it's just a small field, but it'll turn off a few more square bales that I don't have, and we can get some of those out. Could actually, one thing I could do to help this thing some in the summertime or spring is take and narrow that thing in where it extends out on the sides. It's out one hole. I could pull it back in some and close it up a little bit. Dad stops. Let me go see what's wrong. It may have to turn the preservative on. He ain't running it, or wouldn't to start out with, just to see where the moisture's at. It looks dry, but if it is higher, we're gonna have to do some calculations and figure out what the bale weight is and what rate we need to apply it at. Let me see what the issue is. Alright, I had to figure out the calculations on the preservative to get everything working the way it should be. It was jumping up down through yonder, which he was close to wood line, but around the edges and stuff it was popping up a little high, too high, or like 18, 19, kind of in that area on the moisture. So I had to do the calculations on the bales. What you do is you weigh the bales. I just take a house scale, works, and then you have to use the calculation charts and time how many bales is coming out in 3 minutes is the way this one works. And then you multiply, then you take that and it'll give you your tons per hour that you're producing, and then you can turn around and hell, I'm trying to think, and that'll give you tons per hour. Then you multiply that times what the rate the inoculant or preservative, where you'll call it, is supposed to be applied at for the percent range you're running. I'm running from 16 to 22% on the stem, and it's cost, I think it was four is what this one's supposed to be applied at. So we did that, and I got the pressure set now, so there he's set up now. If he needs it, he can spray it. And I have a moisture meter or sensor on the baler, and it'll tell him if it starts. What we do, being I don't have an automated system, because I made mine homemade, which 3/4 of the preservative systems are exactly the same as the one I made. You have to turn it on and off manually, and it'll have basically a moisture meter in the cab to where you can see how much moisture's in the hay. So basically what he does is he keeps an eye on that moisture sensor and keeps up with what the hay's reading. If it starts getting close to that threshold of 16% or more, what he can do then is if it's bouncing up and down a lot, he can turn it on and I'll leave it on and until he sees that it's consistently lower and staying lower, and then we'll turn it back off, is what we typically do. It makes it a lot easier that way, and then you don't have any chance of maybe a little green spot in one of the bales coming through and molding in the middle of the bale with that way. And this stuff has the sweetest smell to it when it's sprayed on it. And I always get questions about this preservative and using it on, does the odor stay, does it, and just questions about feeding it. To be honest, the animals to me seem like they eat it better with it on it. But after about 2 weeks, this particular kind I'm using, I buy the Agco branded ones, but I believe it's Harvest Tech's preservative is I think who makes it, I can't remember. For them, it takes about 2 weeks to get the odor out of the hay, and you don't smell it anymore, or it just smells like really good good smelling hay, and it'll sit in the barn for that 2 weeks, and then you can't tell any difference. And it actually makes a better feed quality because you can bale a little bit higher moisture, which keeps more nutrition in the hay. I saw DLH was spraying his the other day, and everybody always me and him both laugh about it. Yes, we know one another. I do talk to Dennis from time to time. Yes, I have seen Dennis's YouTube channel, and vice versa. That we get that all the time between the two of us, and it's kind of a running joke because everybody tells us, have you seen DLH's farms? It kind of comes in and maybe somebody that watches him usually comes over and sees me. He had the 1036F coon, and is what I watched. And I actually ordered this coon thinking it was going to be the 1036F, and found out that they had done away with the 1036F and just came out with this one. I was one of the first people to own a AF10, which is currently what Dennis just purchased here the other day. And the update video I did on all the parts is in the last 2 years, all the updated parts that they have added to the AF10. Mine was one of the earliest models, and they had to work a lot of the bugs out, so that's another reason why I've had a little bit of trouble with mine. But since we put the updated parts on and got everything put the way they said to put it, I mean, you can watch it, it hasn't messed up one time. It's working perfect now. And they had a few issues with pitch and different things from changing this model. They made it shorter, a little not as tall, just different things that they had to work through. There he goes. And different things they had to work through to get everything squared away and working good. And they've got everything, seems like, pretty well squared away and fixed with them. But that's anything, any kind of new model generally comes out, there's always some unexpected thing that they're not accounting for that happens. No matter how much field testing you can do, you can't cover everybody else's different conditions out there before you release a product, and there is going to be some bugs they have to work through. Now he received the 10 pounds weight on the tailgate. All the other parts that I put on this thing, his already has on it because his is brand new, whereas this one's 2 years old. He got 2 5-pound weights in the cautionary sign. They sent, which equaled out to be 10 pounds. They sent me 5 pounds, and they had one other person testing these out to see how they were going to work. I was the 5-pound test, and DLH was a 10-pound, and I don't know what the other guy got. So I don't know, but if Coons is watching, the 5 pounds working pretty good. I haven't had it on some of the steep ground that we have yet, but as far as the general out in the field working, it's working a whole lot better than it was. I need to call them and talk to them over there and let them know how this thing's doing. I hadn't had a chance. Of course, I haven't baled enough hay really. I didn't think I was going to bale any more hay till now. Let me turn this thing so y'all can see him. Till now, I thought I was done squire baling for the year and we was going to be rolling, but it worked out to where we was able to squire bale this field. So by the time we get done with this, we'll probably have, the other field was small too, so I don't know, probably 400 or 500 bales through it with the updates on it. So, and it seems to be working fairly well at this point. I'm going to do a review on this baler too when we get done this year. I've never done a review on this machine. I did a walk around of it when we bought it, but I haven't done a full-on review of it, and I'm going to do one on that baler. There's some things about it I'd like to see them change. I need to get with my rep about that thing and talk to him a little bit about some stuff I feel like they need to swap around on those 40s. I think would really help them in heavy hay. Hay like this, man, you can fly with that baler and it'll do a heck of a job. But you get in some of these heavy windrows that we've got, which in most cases, I've watched a lot of other people bale on YouTube and everything. They're not running hay through their squire bale as heavy as I am, but there's some things I'd like to see them change on it. I feel like would help it a lot, period. But especially in heavy hay. Now this Kawasaki don't want to crank. But I'll be doing that in a review. I'm gonna do a review on the new round baler. May go ahead and do that one before too long, because I'm over 1,000 bales on it, so I need to already, which we haven't got to use it as much as I'd like to. This past probably month I've used it quite a bit, but we've been running both of them just pretty well wide open, just as much as the other one. So it's doing good. You watch it run. He can pick up a gear easy, and I mean, you look at the size of the bales. I mean, they're not rough at all or anything, so it's not overloaded at all. It can handle another gear easily, but if he's comfortable running at that, that's fine with me. We're just out here in this smaller field today, just trying to get this last little bit of squire bales for the year done, and then that's going to be it for us, and we'll be done with squire bales. Now rolls, I've still got quite a bit more. Got about 2 weeks left of baling on the roll side, 2 good weeks, and then we'll be done with it. We've really been munching through some hay lately, and really pounding it out, running both machines all the time, and just trying to get as much done as we can, because this stuff is just, the feed quality on it is going down. Or I'd be doing this here a lot more than I am. I'm real short on squire bales, but it's working. I'll let y'all watch it dump. But so far, I've been real pleased with the upgrades that they sent me on this thing. It was all warranty upgrades too, and I really appreciate them doing that. And I just cannot say enough about Kuhn's MFG. This is not Kuhn, this is Kuhn's, K-U-H-N-S. This has no relation to the hay rake that we have, the mowers that they make, round balers, nothing like that. It's a completely separate company. These are made right here in America as well, just like the other Kuhn, but they have no relation at all. Just want to straighten that out. That's another thing that's always people don't I guess miss or don't understand, which it is very confusing because the names are very close. They just have an S on the end rather than the other one is just Kuhn. There goes the dump. And then it'll close. Which I'm interested to see in that heavy hay, how that sign's gonna do. He's rolling along fast enough now where I'm not really having an issue with it, with the tailgate. And another thing, I'm not really any steep ground. This is pretty good laid flat ground right here, so we'll have to see next spring for sure. If it acts up, I'll cut me out another sign out of some steel that I've got, and I'll add 10 panels to it instead of that, because I've seen on Dennis's hills with him running up and down them, his is working good on steep grades, which we've done already baled all our steeper ground in square bales so far. So I can't really tell till next spring what for sure, but it is working better than it was, I'll say that. But there it is. Yep, we'll catch y'all another day, and I'm gonna go get maybe stick some footage of loading. I don't know if I will or not, and I've got firewood to do too later today. But that's the Coons Coons MFG AF10 working with the Master First in 1840. Ignore the thing in front of it because I don't like it. That's all I've got to say about it. Hopefully I can replace it with that brand in a few years, but we'll see. But I will say it has done good this year. It's got some issues going on, but it hasn't broke down for the first time in probably 8 years throughout a hay season. So I've been relatively pleased with that. I'm not complaining. I can't complain or say nothing bad about it because it is working. Other than the fact that it has got some issues that I've got to address over the winter with it. But as long as the thing will not break down continuously year after year, every season, it'll just work some years like it should. The more hours is on that tractor, I will be happy and you won't hear me complain no more. But I'm not convinced. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.